Welcome to section 24 of chapter 5, the formation of an Austrian monarchy. Our first essential question that's going to guide today's review is, how did a strong Austrian Habsburg monarchy rise out of the Holy Roman Empire? So Austrian Habsburgs had been the Holy Roman emperors since the mid-14th century. In the 17th century, they successfully made a transition from the dying Holy Roman Empire with its declining cousin Habsburg Kingdom in Spain to form a strong Austrian kingdom. The Austrian kingdom consisted of three parts, each separate and only connected by their common Habsburg ruler. The hereditary provinces of the Habsburgs, Bohemia, and Hungary. Bohemia was reincorporated into the Holy Roman Empire during the 30 Years' War. Hungary had been conquered by the Ottomans in 1526, the scene of a long struggle between the Austrians and the Turks. In the 17th century, Louis XIV incited the Turks to move against the Habsburgs. In 1683, the Turks besieged Vienna for the second time. The siege was lifted after 2 months, largely because of the efforts of the Polish king, John Sobieski. A counteroffensive against the Turks followed. Prince Eugene, Prince Eugene of Savoy. He was of French background and education, proved to be an effective commander for the Habsburgs, who modernized the army and drove the Turks out of Hungary when they came under Austrian rule. The Ottomans were pushed back to Romania and the Balkans, while the Habsburgs were fighting in the War of Spanish Succession, ultimately winning Milan, Naples, and the former Spanish Netherlands. Prince Eugene captured Belgrade, Trieste, and Croatia, pushing back the Turks to borders, then remained for the next 200 years. All right, our second question is, what were some defining characteristics of the Austrian Empire? So it was an international, or rather non-national, both in its population and in the government service, filled with Germans, Croats, Italians, Hungarians, and Czechs. Several provinces had their own diet with a good amount of autonomy. There was no central diet or common laws for the empire as a whole. Common class interests connected the nobles of various origins, all of whom dominated their mostly serfed peasants. The two unifying elements were Catholicism, the Habsburgs persecuted Protestants, and the Habsburg emperor, who inherited the three crowns in one person. Charles VI in 1713 issued a document called the Pragmatic Sanction to ensure the permanent unity of Habsburg territory by preventing divided succession. This became even more important when he had no male issue, only a daughter named Maria Theresa, who ultimately was recognized as the rightful Habsburg heir. All right, I have a couple of identifications defined for you. I'm going to slowly go from one slide to the next so that you can just pause it and write down them, because there's not much. I was pretty detailed when I defined them, and there's not much more that I feel the need to add to what I wrote on each slide. So, according to the College Board, here are two IDs that you really need to know. The Khan Academy has a good video explaining serfs and serfdom, so I would definitely take a look at that if you're confused about this concept of serfdom. It's a very old system that started in the Middle Ages. And then some more IDs. We have hereditary provinces, Magyars, Charles VI, and Pragmatic Sanction. So going into more detail here than in the video earlier. That was a broad overview of this section. And then we have four more with the Battle of Zenta, Siege of Vienna in 1683, Prince Eugene of Savoy, and Peace of Karlowitz. Oh, and I forgot, we've got four more, We have Treaty of Rastatt, Peace of Belgrade, John Sobieski, and Maria Theresa. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more details of what we need to know of the different treaties, battles, people, etc.